Welcome. Welcome to the winter solstice edition of the Tucson Macintosh User Group main meeting for this month in December. We welcome all current members, new members, first-time guests, dual platform users and switchers. You need not be a member to attend, but some of the benefits of membership are. And Susan Oates has a question. Susan?
Yes, I do run beta, but I had installed the most recent standard 12.2 and ran into trouble with notes. All my 200 notes disappeared, and the music went from my formats, and switched to smart playlists, and then had nothing in them. So that was both of those things were very distressing. And eventually I got everything back. I can't even remember how I did it. And so I'm sorry for that. But I guess what I'm saying is beware. So I don't know why those two things disappeared, but I really rely on notes to store stuff.
Okay, Susan, what operating system were you using and which one did you go to?
Well, the 12.1, I'm assuming, because I'm keeping up to date with it all.
And on what Macintosh are you speaking?
It's a 21-inch 2018, I think. And
Okay. I'm sure glad that you have
figured it out.
been able to recover from that.
Yeah.
I see that you have a big note in the notes or the chat session.
Yeah.
Regarding this.
Right. It's basically repeating what I just said.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing this up, and make backups, make the sign of the cross and light a candle before and after. If it's the right phase of the moon, you should be okay.
This was the first time in updating that I've had something negative happen. So it was a surprise to me. And yes, I could have restored it from backups, but I guess I wanted to figure out a way to get it back the way it was without resorting to a backup.
Okay. Well, let's, like I say,
Yeah.
Melissa has a comment, sounds like iCloud issue perhaps, but I want to get started with the meeting.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
let's move forward with that. Somebody's audio is scratching on us. I'm going to turn off my audio to see if it's me. Oh, now it's gone. Whoever turned their audio off, that was it. Okay. Our next meeting is on Tuesday, January 18th at this virtual location. Next month, again, we will have an Ask Me Anything session hosted by Kevin. And this month it was supposed to be hosted by Kevin, but unfortunately he was caught in a windshield replacement issue. So also next month is the TMUG elections, a closer look at Apple Pay, Apple Cash, and Apple Credit Card with Roger. Speaking of elections, nominations are now open. Everyone who would like to run for an office of TMUG, please raise your hand. Don't all jump up at once. We have Mark. Yeah, Mark, we're kind of counting on you to do that as well. Anybody else? Well, yeah, I'm not looking for current officers. I'm looking for somebody new. Okay, well, the nominations are still open. speak up, send me an email, nominate yourself in TMUG Talk or something. It's always good to have new blood on the board because it gives us another perspective. It helps us see what we need to see. So let's move forward. We are thinking about a return to in-person meetings, at least on occasion, but due to the ongoing COVID crisis, there are no plans at this time. We did have a thought about having a non-meeting get together in January, but again, we have decided to postpone that. The board of directors meeting in January, we'll discuss this again and maybe set up a date in February with the clear caveat that we could postpone or cancel at almost any time, like up to 24 hours before. It would be nice to have a face-to-face gathering again, but we need to do it safely. And if we do have a face-to-face gathering, we have lots of door prizes, raffle prizes, and goodies to share. So it would behoove all of us to join that face-to-face when we can. So if we can secure a venue and have enough interest for an extra meeting in February, by show of hands, are you interested? We got a few of us here. Good, good. Remember, those attending this kind of meeting will get the best goodies to take home with them. One of these.
I'm sorry, does the place need to provide Wi-Fi?
I don't think so. This is really more of a social meeting, Diana. It's a great question. More of a social meeting than anything else. We just want to have a get together. One of the ideas that that has been put forward is maybe renting a ramada at a Tucson park, where we would have picnic tables and a roof over our head and get together there. And maybe, if you feel so moved, to bring a plate of something to share with you, and we could all have something like that. Susan, you have your hand up. I take it you're volunteering to run for office. And she's choking on something. We can't hear her because she's muted.
No, I was raising my hand to say yes. It'd be great to have a social.
Okay,
presence.
great. Okay. Please see the chat window for a link to the presenter review poll. I don't think Bob Doms has put it up there yet, but I'm sure that he will. And it's important to us that you take a few moments and answer the poll, because it helps guide us for future meeting plans. The new virtual raffle we have during our Zoom meetings, last month's winner was Tony Ewing. Congratulations, Tony. The names of tonight's attendees will be collated into a numbered list and used to pick that winner. Like the super raffle, to be eligible, the screen name displayed must match with a record of a current TMUG membership. If we can't identify you, your name will not be placed in the raffle. And that's why we ask that you use your full name when you sign in. Please sign up to our TMUG mail list and subscribe to the calendars. This will put the events right on your Mac's calendar automatically. We strongly recommend that every TMUG member subscribe to the TMUG Announce and TMUG Talk calendars, along with, and that will also get you subscribed to those mail lists. That way, if there's a problem with a meeting or a meeting link or some such, you'll get the messages right away. The TMUG Treasure Hunt raffle rolls on. Last month's winner was Melissa Davis. Congratulations, Melissa.
Woo, thank you.
There are two parts to this treasure hunt. Part A is in the TMUG newsletter, and part 2 is in TMUG Talk. And you need to do whatever, combine those things together to come up with an answer and send it to me at my president.tmug.com, president@tmug.com email address, and I'll put you on the list. We have one entrant so far. Thank you, Jerry. And so put that stuff together and get into the treasure hunt. All it takes is that you be a TMUG member. You subscribe to TMUG Talk, and you subscribe to the newsletter. And then maybe a little mathematics or something kind of number jungling to get you the answer to send in to me. When using our groups.io mail lists, again, just like here, we urge you to use your TMUG email address of record. If you don't know what that is, if you don't know what your TMUG address of record is, send an email to me or to Kurt, and we'll let you know what you have down as the email address of record. I know that, many of us have more than one email address.
Yeah.
Are there any other announcements? What did I forget? Okay.
I wanted to thank you for,
Sounds like somebody put a playing card in the spokes of their bicycle.
was that me?
Mm.
I hope not. I wanted to thank you for putting the link and everything in the calendar entry, because that was just amazingly helpful today.
Well, that's what we intend. And that's what we want to do. Sometimes it doesn't always happen.
Well, whatever you did today, copy and paste that, because it worked really, really great.
Roger, you get a gold star. Are there any for sales or wanted to buy items from the floor or the desk? Doesn't have to be on the floor, could be on your lap or whatever. So, okay, moving forward, we're going to go to the tech update with our returning tech update guy, Ridge, who has returned tanned, toned, and relaxed and ready to continue. So, Ridge, I'd like to turn it over to you.
All right. Okay. For this month, let's find out. Some of the software updates we've had, 1Password and
Rich, we're
Fire.
not seeing your screen.
All right, let's figure that out.
Are you getting any kind of a message that says you can't share your screen? There you go.
Okay, That looks much better. Okay, and you can see we've got BB Edit and Carbon Copy Cloner have been updated. And one password. And Firefox had a bunch, and Google Chrome and Graphic Converter.
Well, excuse me, Ridge. You want to go ahead and hit play on? There you go.
How's that?
Better.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Excellent, Ridge. You're right
okay.
there.
Very good. And Graphic Converter. And a little snitch as well. And Microsoft Office Spam Sieve. And Zoom is up to 5.9.0 right now. And for as far as Apple goes, we got Big Sur had 2. And Monterey had 3. And a HomePod, if you got one of those, I had 2. And iOS, iPad OS had, it looks like 3 there from 14.8 up to 15.2. And the TV OS as well, and HomePod as well got an update. Final Cut Pro, if you're using the professional applications from Apple, and Logic Pro, Safari got 2, and the Watch OS got 2, and Catalina got, looks like 3 updates, and Xcode, if you're a programmer, got 3. And these are the items from Apple that are in beta testing right now. Apple has announced a self-service repair program that gives individual users who are comfortable with repairing their electronic devices access to Apple's parts and tools and so forth. And it's supposed to launch in early next year. And it'll include parts for the iPhone 12 and 13. And it'll be rolling out support later on next year for M1 based Macs and so forth. Apple thinks that the user looks at the repair manual and make sure they're comfortable with doing the repair, and then they place an order for the parts online, and after completing it, they return the used parts. It's intended for those that got the new knowledge and experience to do it. And they suggested that most of the customers will be using an authorized Apple service provider as the safest and most reliable way to get a repair. But Tim Cook is optimistic that said it's ideal for technicians and enthusiasts that are trained to do this work. Apple had just gotten an FCC award because of their features in iOS 14. It's called the Cheers Award for Advancement in Accessibility, and it's been only 3 others were winners, and Apple got they singled out 4 features in iOS 14 that are listed there that helped them get that award. And there are some reports of those who've got the new 16-inch MacBook Pros and 140-watt MagSafe power adapters having trouble charging. And now that they say there's the best thing to do is to connect the charger before you shut the machine down. And there's some folks who are reporting trouble with the SD card slot on the new MacBook Pros, and they're supposed to fix it with a future update to Monterey. And SA Techie has announced the aluminum USB-C clamp hub exclusively designed for the new 2021 24-inch iMacs. It gives you USB-C ports, 3 USB 3As, and a micro SD card reader. And only uses a single USB-C connection. Costs about $55. And there's what it looks like on the front. And here's how it connects to the iMac. How about rumors? We're going to have a redesign of the MacBook, total redesign of the MacBook Air in late next year with an M2 CPU. How about a complete redesign of the iPhone 14? And how about next year with a new Mac Pro and an augmented reality and a virtual reality headset? And an iPad Pro with wireless charging. How about the 24-inch and 27-inch 4K standalone monitors next year? Is this what the next Mac Mini's backplane is going to look like? It's going to be thinner, supposedly, and have a MagSafe power system, USB-C, A, Ethernet, and HDMI. And Microsoft has released the non-subscription. Okay, and the pricing is there. If you're going to be buying the 365 product, it's $70 a year. But if you're going to buy Office 2021, you can buy it for $150 or a little bit more for the business version. And now, of course, and next time we meet in person, we'll have the iron-on or sew-on patches for sale. And each one who is a member and attends will get a free pin. And that's it for the first part of my presentation. And now we'll talk about things that are of security interest. And Adobe, of course, patches Reader and Acrobat, and Google has patches for Chrome. And Mozilla has patched Firefox and Thunderbird. And Little Snitch got a security fix as well. And all of these listed software have had security fixes to them from Apple. And as far as cybercrime goes, there's a report that thieves are using Apple AirTags to track high-end vehicles. And in Ontario, Canada, they've had at least 5 incidents where those Apple AirTags were used to track cars. They first target the cars in public places, and they hide the AirTag next to gas caps and behind bumpers and hitches and under the so forth. And then they use those iPhones. Then they use their iPhones to track the car to the owner's home, and then pick the ideal time to steal them from the driveway, and keys may be taken from the houses. And Planned Parenthood says that ransomware hackers sold personal information of 400,000 of their patients in Los Angeles, somewhere between October 9th and October 17th. The hackers accessed patients' addresses, insurance information, birthdays, clinical information, diagnosis, procedure, and prescription information. So far, the data has not been leaked online, maybe because the folks that did that are becoming aware that that tactic is seeing a whole lot of US working to shut down others who have done that kind of thing. And that's it for me today. So thank you for being an attentive person. Stay safe. And that's it for me. And I'll hit stop the share. Maybe.
Thank you, Reg.
I can find the button.
There you go.
There.
Thanks, Reg.
Thank you,
Okay.
Reg. We appreciate it.
Was my voice audible the whole time?
It
Yes.
went out a couple times, but evidently you fixed it.
Yeah, I'm the one that has the buzzing sound. And I don't know why. This is a brand new standalone headset.
Are you on Wi-Fi?
No,
Okay,
this is Ethernet
good.
connection.
Okay, moving forward. We have, oh, there we are. Okay. Did anyone here gift or receive new Apple gear this holiday season? Now I know that, you know, Christmas is until late in the week, but did Reg mute your mic, please? Thank you. So did anybody get a gift of Apple gear or receive a gift of Apple gear or something like that? Jerry? You're on mute, Jerry.
Yeah, I have a pair of the Beats little earphones that fit in your ears, the latest model. And they stay in my ears much better than the AirPods Pro do. I still have a little trouble configuring them, but at least they don't want to fall out into the toilet.
Or your soup. That was a, Hal, did you have a comment here?
Oh, Susan just got a new iPhone 13 about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, 13 plain or Pro or Max or pink,
Pro.
red or green with yellow
Pro.
stars.
Pro.
Pro and blue.
Great. Great. That's the, you know, the color is one of the most important factors. Anybody else? Are anybody else gifting something? Kurt? We can't hear you. There you
I
go.
got Apple Watch 7. I moved up from a 4, and I like it a lot. It's the bigger screen is nice, and I love the always on feature. And I'm surprised that with the always on, that at night when I go to bed, it's still like 65, 68% charged. So, you know, even though it's on all day, it doesn't seem to wear the battery down too far.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Bob, does Opal count? I got her an AirTag.
Sure, she counts.
And I also got the family, my friend Elisa that I podcast with, she sent me a text saying that the HomePod Mini was on sale at Target. So I went and I grabbed one. It was a really good deal. I think it was like $20 off. And it's like hardly ever do you see that. And so I got one and I hooked it up and the family's been fighting over it ever since. It's great.
Well, that's good. That's good. Okay. Well, if that, Tommy has a hand up. But I'm still muted, Tommy.
I got my daughter a 14-inch, what is it? The
MacBook Pro.
The MacBook Pro, the latest one.
Cool.
She called me and said, well, my migration assistant doesn't work off of Mojave. And so I said she should call the Apple technician that's offered with the purchase. She said to do that after she gets out of school, when she's a teacher.
That's
Okay.
good to hear.
That's good to hear. Well, maybe we'll do this again next month and see if there's anything else, because, you know, it's possible that some of us are not saying anything because the recipient might be listening. So we'll try this again. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take a few moments to talk about Apple's. Oh, before I do the hide my email thing, I want to note in two places on Ridge's presentation, he talked about the updates to practically every Apple OS. And I strongly urge you to do those updates. There was a vulnerability found that affects Apple and affects other types of systems as well, that was pretty scary. And the updates that came out a week ago fixed that vulnerability. So stay patched, stay secure, and stay subscribed. Okay, Apple, hide my email. Let's take a look at that, and I am going to go to screen share. And I think that's the one I want to share. Are you seeing someone looking out a hole in the wall?
Yep.
Okay, great. Apple has announced hide my email. Why hide your email address? Well, let's take a look at a couple things here. Because to keep your email address out of people who want to sell it or track you or do other kind of things that we don't like done with our email, that's why you want to hide your email address. And to be able to turn off these accounts if you really want to be done with them. What is hide my email? It's a way for Apple provides you with a unique random address that's automatically forwarded to your inbox. Each address is unique to you. If you create this account with an app or visit a website that supports sign in with Apple, you can choose to use your real email address, or you can hide your email address if you prefer more privacy. It requires an iCloud Plus subscription, which probably, like everybody here, has. If you are paying the 99 cents or more for increased storage on iCloud, you have an iCloud Plus subscription. You can create these random addresses from your phone or your Mac or iPad or anything, or in Safari. Apple doesn't read or process any of the content of these emails that are passing from them, from somebody else to them, then to you. And they got enough other stuff to do. And this is not how they earn their money, by farming that information out. They say that once it's delivered to you, they throw it away. Anytime you can change that email address, or change the email address that gets the messages, or you can turn off forwarding to stop receiving the messages. What's required to use hide my email? An iCloud subscription, iCloud Plus subscription, an app or a website that supports sign in with Apple. And you can manage it on your iPhone. You can go to blah, 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 blah. And it's pretty easy, pretty simple. Once there, you can create a new address, deactivate or delete an address. Now, this deactivate business is very interesting to me. A few years ago, I signed up for Groupon. And I don't know, after a year or so, I turned Groupon off because it was getting to be too much. A few months back, I turned it back on again. And I'm about ready to turn it off again. And this you can do with any of these addresses. You can deactivate it, put it in stasis, or delete it. And like I said, change the forward to address. Now, if you sign up for something at a slimy website, they can just go ahead and sell that address. Well, okay, they could sell it. But if anybody but that website sends you an email to that private email address, it just doesn't work. Nothing happens. So they can go ahead and sell it, and the marketers think that they're marketing to you, and nothing happens. And you can kill that address at any time, and your real email address is safe. Here's what it looks like in use. I signed up for imdb.com with this hide your email. So you can see that my email address is b2 blah, 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 blah at privaterelay.appleid.com. And go ahead, copy that down, send me an email. I'm not going to get it. So let's see what this kind of looks like in action. Now I'm going to stop the share and share a different window. As I'm going to go to Safari. And are you seeing my Safari? Page
Yes,
here
we
at
are.
Twitter? Great. Okay. So you see that if you wanted to sign up for Twitter, and so far I don't tweet, but you can sign in with Apple or sign up with Apple. And I'm going to click that. And let's see what happens. Okay. This is what comes up.
Nothing came up.
Oh, okay. No. So we're not looking at Safari. This is a dialog box in front of Safari that says, do you want to use your Apple ID or do you want to use hide your email? And if I click on hide your email and then click on go ahead, it's going to give me a bogus isn't right, but a hidden email address. And we can use that to sign up with Twitter. And that way, if I decide a month from now or 5 years from now that I really don't want to be tweeting anymore, I can just turn off that email address and nobody's the wiser, because the email address only works between Twitter and me, or like the one that I showed you, between IMDb and myself. So that is hide my email. Are there any questions about hide my email? Okay.
I've used it about 20 times so far, and it works great.
Great.
It seems to have gotten better with successive updates on Monterey, but it seems to be working fine now, latest I can tell. And the only thing that could be a potential inconvenience if you're signing back into one of these websites, and for some reason it doesn't come up with that address for you again, then there could be a problem. So far, I haven't noticed that being an issue. Although sometimes with buying something, I end up putting the email address that's on my Apple Card, because that's what I use on the web. And so I don't know, maybe they're going to pick up my email address off that, but I'm not sure.
Well, remember, store all those things, all those logins in 1Password or a password manager of your choice, and then you're going to have it. Any other questions about hide my email? Okay. Moving forward. I'm going to turn it over to Roger for keyboard shortcuts on macOS and iOS. What's a keyboard shortcut? Roger's going to tell us. Why would you want to use it? Because it makes things easier and faster, and you get more done in less time. So, Roger, it's all yours.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, when you share your screen, you lose your mic mute button. Or it moves, actually. I have it up here. Okay, keyboard shortcuts, be more productive. So let's talk about keyboard shortcuts. So the very best keyboard shortcut there is, in my humble opinion, is Command Spacebar. And that brings up your Spotlight, which searches for anything on your computer. So you can find the document that went someplace that you didn't plan for it to go. You can launch an app from Command Spacebar using Spotlight. You can do all sorts of things for searching your computer. Now, a little caveat here. Apple, in its infinite wisdom, also assigned another function to Command Spacebar. So when you want to use Spotlight, you have to just tap the spacebar real quick, and you'll get Spotlight. But if you hold down the spacebar, you'll get Siri, whether you want Siri or not. So be aware of that little feature that Apple has provided us. So we're going to go through some common everyday keyboard shortcuts that you probably should be using. And some of you, I'm sure, have been using these, and hopefully some of you will pick up some tips here and be more productive. Command C for copy. So when you're writing anything, whether it be an email or a letter or anything, you can copy text, you can copy images by doing Command C. Of course, when you copy, the original stays where it was, and you put a copy in your clipboard temporarily, and then you can put it someplace else. Command X is cut. So unlike copy, it takes it away from where it was. So it's not there anymore, and then it puts it where you want to have it next. And the way you do that is with Command V. V as in Victor for paste. Now, Command C for copy, that's pretty easy to remember. Command X, that's kind of like cutting. That's pretty easy to remember, but where did they come up with Command V? Well, I have a way to remember it. Remember when we were in elementary school and we had little projects where we pasted things and we used this glue bottle from a company called Le Pages? Well, I think of the glue bottle with its V-shaped tip. Of course, that's when it's turned upside down. Then that's how I remember Command V. So maybe that will help you remember Command V for paste. So here's three more that you should be using in your everyday Mac life. Command Q for quit. So the tendency for some people is when you want to get out of a program, you click on that little red button in the upper left-hand corner. But that does not always quit the program. Some programs it does. Other programs, it simply closes the window and the actual app is still running. So if you want to get out of a program, use Command Q instead of the red button. Command S for save, another logical keyboard shortcut. So when you are typing on something, you should save frequently and often. So all you have to do is hit Command S. And if you're typing along and you make a mistake, you can hit Command Z for undo, and that will just back you out of where you are. So you can hit it multiple times in most programs to back further from where you are to where you were and get rid of a mistake. Then we have another easy one to remember, Command P for print. So instead of going up to the menu bar, going to File, going down to Print, all you have to do is hit one combination keystroke, Command P, and you're in the print dialog. Here's one that you may not know about called Command W, W for close window. And this will work in your web browser. It will work in the Finder. If you got a Finder window open, you can close it with Command W. And so in most programs, Command W will close the active window. Now, if you want to create a new window or a new file, then Command N for new is your keyboard shortcut, your friend, you might say. So here's one that is not as well known, Command Tab. I use this all the time, every day. So when you hit Command Tab, that shows you along your screen icons of all of the programs that are active. And so you can keep holding down the Command key, keep hitting the Tab key, and it'll cycle through each of those programs. So that's a real quick way to switch between programs that are already open. Command accent mark. I'm sure there's a better name for that little punctuation mark. It's on the key right below the escape key. It has a tilde and this little accent mark. So when you're in any browser and you want to switch browser windows, you can hit that to switch between browser windows. And then when you're typing anywhere, you can do Command B for bold. So again, another one that's easy to remember, B for bold. Now, here is something that's amazing. Apple has actually put all of these keyboard shortcuts in your drop-down menus from the menu bar, but most people don't even see them, but they're there. So you can see here on the right-hand side, everything that we've talked about and more are right there. So that's one way to reference them. If you forget, just look to the right of the drop-down menu, and each drop-down menu has the appropriate keyboard shortcut. Did I mention that the best keyboard shortcut that you'll ever know is Command Spacebar for Spotlight? I think I may have mentioned that, but just to reinforce it. Now, the developers of iPadOS brought a very nice feature. So if you have a keyboard on your iPad and you hold down the Command key, which is located on either side of the space bar, there's two Command keys, one on the left, one on the right, you will get a window coming up in the center showing you the appropriate keyboard shortcuts for whatever app you're in. Wouldn't it be nice if Apple did that for macOS? Well, they didn't, but a third-party developer did. So after you install this free app called Cheat Sheet, you can hold down the Command key for a few seconds and a window with all the shortcuts will appear on your Mac screen, and it will work in any program, and it will be appropriate to the program that you're actually in or in the Finder, wherever you are. So this is a free program. And if you would like to find out where to get that, all you have to do is go to our website, groups.io, and into TMUG Talk and look for the show notes for this presentation, which are already there. And you'll see a complete guide to install a cheat sheet, as well as a quick reference of some of the most common keyboard shortcuts that you can print up and tape to the wall next to your computer to help you get in the habit of doing these. So I see that Chris has a question.
Yeah, Roger, believe it or not, there is a history to Command V for paste. It's the old proofreading mark that used to be in manual proofreading. When you wanted to insert text between two words, you'd put a V there and write the text on top. And that's where that came from.
Very good. Well, I didn't know that. So I'm going to do a little demonstration here on the keyboard live without a net. So before I do the demonstration, any other questions about what we've covered?
Yes, Roger, what is the website address again for,
It's our TMUG website, groups, 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 plural, .io, as in input, output.
okay,
And then go to TMUG Talks. Or if you haven't signed up for Groups.io, then it'll give you an opportunity to do that when you go there.
okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, so
I've got
let's,
a way of
Roger, I
remembering.
think Jeff has a question.
I've got a way of remembering Command V. I say V for vomit. Boom, throw something out.
okay. Well, that's, I'll have to remember that. Okay, so we're going to switch to the Inspecto Cam. And there it is. Now, I'm going to use, this is National Flashlight Day, by the way, in case you were here in the first meeting. So I have this great little LED flashlight, but when I use it in this mode, you see we have this little problem here. So that's the problem with LEDs that are not designed to light things that are being viewed by camera. Fortunately, this LED flashlight has another little LED at the end. So hopefully you can see that fairly well. So the thing that I wanted to demonstrate first is how to actually do a keyboard shortcut. Now, when I explain this to people and I watch them, I see them do things like they hold down the command key. Of course, there's a command key here to the left of the space bar, and there's a command key to the right of the space bar. So there's two command keys. And so they'll hold down the command key with their right finger, and then they'll go up here and say hit quit or hit save or hit close window or undo or cut or copy or paste. Notice that cut, copy, and paste are all right in a row. So that's kind of another way to remember paste. It's right next to copy. Oh, look, there's bold right there next to that. So they're kind of logically placed on the keyboard. But the best way to do this is to put your left thumb on the command key and then just use your left index finger to hit quit, close window, select all, save, undo. So it's all done with one hand. Oh, wait, what was that? Did everybody see that? So this is the cheat sheet app because I was holding down the command key without hitting another key. You might call it a modifier key. So let me do that again. So now there is the keyboard commands. So you see in the upper left-hand corner, are you seeing that on your screen?
No,
Okay, let me switch to the Finder.
All we see is the keyboard, Roger.
Okay, I got to switch to the Finder. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I've lost my controls. Where are they? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to share the Finder, I think. Not letting me share the Finder. Okay, well, let's just do it this way. So I'm going to go back and share the keynote presentation. Okay, so now we're in Keynote. So now when I hold down the command key all by itself, now do you see it?
no.
You don't see it. Okay. Well, I guess Zoom is not
All
picking
all
that
we're
up.
seeing, Roger, is your keynote presentation. So
Okay. Well, let me describe it to you. So if Zoom would let us see this, so in the upper left-hand corner, I'm seeing the specific keyboard commands just for Keynote. And then in the next column, I'm seeing keyboard commands for File, which is Shift Command N for a new, Command W for close, as we talked about, Shift Command W for close all, and then we have several other columns here. So,
Roger,
yes.
try turning off the slide presentation and just get to the keynote screen and maybe we'll see it there.
Okay, well, what I need to be is in the Finder. So let me click in the Finder and see if Zoom will let me show the Finder. So I'm in the Finder, back to screen share. And now Zoom is not letting me share the Finder. So,
That's weird.
so anyway, so it's nothing fancy. It's just basically text that pops up on top of everything, anything that's on your screen. Let me switch back here to the camera. So it just pops up on top of your screen and shows you those keyboard commands. And it, of course, is contextual according to whatever program is active. So that is a really nice little feature that helps you learn those keyboard commands. And so you can be more efficient, more productive. And are there any other questions?
Yes, Roger. So you have to have a program open in order for this to work. It can't just show up on your desktop without a program open.
No, it'll work with the Finder. It'll show you the keyboard shortcuts for the Finder if you're just in the Finder.
Okay.
So you don't have to have a program open for it to work. It will work.
Okay.
It'll work on whatever you're looking at. It'll show you the appropriate keyboard shortcuts for that
Okay.
situation,
Thanks.
whether it be a Finder or any program.
All right. Thank you.
Good question.
By the way, Roger, the guy who had invented the keyboard or the, I'm sorry, the clipboard that we use for command cut, copy, and paste was a guy named Larry Tesler. He was quite the engineer at Apple, and he just passed away last year. And my old colleagues at work were flabbergasted when they found out that one guy had invented the clipboard, because they thought that this surely must have been a team of programmers, but nope, just one guy who did that, and probably changed the lives of half the planet by doing that, because that was one of the top features of the 128K Mac. That was pure magic when it came out.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Roger. I have a quick comment. I didn't want to let Jeff's earlier example be the last example. I like to offer one other that I used while doing the newsletter, since I use paste and or cut and paste quite often.
Yeah.
I use voila, the French term V-O-I-L-A, as my little meme to remember that. It's to express satisfaction and to say, there it is.
I use V for victory, because if you've copied it and you've pasted it, you've been victorious.
I've always imagined the V as a little downward pointing arrow that it's going to paste it right where the arrow is pointing.
We all have our mental gymnastics.
You guys are so creative. And here, the only way I was remembering it is it's right next to C. Undo, cut, copy, paste. It's all right there. I figured they didn't have any real meaning for V. It was just that it was next to C for copy. So I'll try to keep all these other things in mind when I use Command V in the future. Roger, is that it? Any more questions for Roger?
That is all she wrote.
Okay. I would like to remind everybody to look for the link to the feedback form. And I'm going to ask Bob Doms to put it into the chat again. And please do that. And also to remind everybody that nominations are open for the officers election that takes place in January. You need not be a Apple genius to become an officer, just somebody who wants to help. So if you would like to run or would like to learn more, if you'd like to learn more before you put your hand up, send me an email, ask any questions that you have. If think it was Susan who was it you, Susan, who was asking about signing up for the mail list?
I have the mail list, but I don't seem to be able to get the groups.io. I went into Gmail groups but it's not recognizing .io.
It's not a Gmail group.
Oh, okay.
It's groups.io. There's a link to the sign up area on the tmug.com website.
Okay.
If you have a problem with that or anybody else, please let me know. I can send you a personal engraved invitation with little gold scrollies in the corner and so forth, and help you through it, because we would like every member to be subscribed to these mail list groups so we can chat more conveniently between meetings.
I just opened the TMUG email with the stuff about this meeting, and down on the bottom it says groups.io links. So so I will try that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, try it. And if there's some confusion or if you have a problem or whatever, let me know. We can work this out.
Yes, thank you.
So we have a few minutes left.
Actually, I have a question for Roger.
Kevin.
In cheat sheet, did you show people the slider to change the time delay? No sound, Roger.
You're on mute, Roger.
Good idea. A good point, Kevin. When you're in cheat sheet, there's a little gear in the lower right-hand corner, and you can adjust several parameters, including how long it stays on the screen, which is the delay that Kevin mentioned. So thanks.
Well, the delay is how long you hold your command key down before it activates. That was the big thing for me, because I used to hold the command key down and think about what am I doing, and then cheat sheet would pop up.
Did you ever notice that, say, for example, when you're pressing Command C for copy, if you look at the menu at the top in your menu bar, it'll actually highlight the edit menu, for example, because that's where that keyboard shortcut originates. If you click on that menu, you can see a list of the keyboard shortcuts in there. And if you press the Option key down, you'll see them change also. So just if you're not going to use that third-party application, for example, just keep an eye on the menu bar as you're navigating, and it'll kind of give you feedback as to, wait, did I really press it? Oh yeah, it blinked at me, so it lets you know that it did.
Okay, any questions? Now that we have one of our lead experts with us, Kevin, who finally got his car finished, to calibrate your windshield.
Yeah, the windshield has cameras in it, and the new cars have radar systems, and everything works through the cameras in the windshield. So they actually have to hook them up to sensors and put lasers all around everything.
So was this at a dealership, or was this at Safe Light?
No, it was at Brake Max's. Believe it or not, the dealer does not replace windshields. They say they're too complicated and take too much time. So and then you have to use dealer glass, and it took them an extra 4 hours to deliver it.
Oh.
So I had to wait for that. They were supposed to deliver it at 10:30, and they delivered it at 2:30.
Well, bummer, but at least you're keeping the insects and the weather out of your face, right?
Yes, and glad that the insurance covered it. Otherwise, it would have been almost $2,000.
Wow. Wow.
So technology at its greatest.
Any questions for the group? If not, I'm going to wish everybody a happy holiday, regardless of what holiday you celebrate. And we want everybody to be safe, well, and come back again next month. And remind you that the treasure hunt raffle, Kevin, is still open. And you can send in your guess, your answer anytime in December. And I will try to pick a winner or have Siri pick a winner on January 1st. So if that's all there is, then I would like to say good night and happy holidays and see you later.
See you in
Bye.
19,
I know.
see you in 2022.
Yeah,
Happy holidays.
yep.
Yeah, I just heard something that said, okay, when you realize that the
Right.
new year is 2020
Two.
TOO.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye all.
Bye, everybody.
Hey.